Hey guys, it's Dinohunter here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about porpoises. Let's go. Porpoises are small cetaceans that look sort of like dolphins. They're in the Phocinidae family and their closest living relatives are belugas and narwhals. There are 8 extant meaning living species, and all of them are some of the smallest toothed whales. You can tell them apart from dolphins by their spade-shaped teeth and lack of a pronounced beak, although some dolphins may also lack a pronounced beak. So let's talk about their origins. Porpoises, like all whales and dolphins, evolved from ungulate mammals. These are hoofed mammals like rhinos, hippos, zebras, and more. They first entered the water from the land about 50 million years ago, with the oldest fossils being found in the North Pacific. From first entering the water, these animals diversified, with the last common ancestor between porpoises and dolphins living around 15 million years ago. So what's cool about these guys' evolution is that in evolutionary theory, we think that all life started in the water. So for these guys, they would have started in the water, moved onto land, and then moved back to the water again. So yeah, very interesting evolution. Next, let's talk about their sleep. Porpoises are conscious breathers, meaning that every breath that they take is voluntary, and they are aware of that. This means that they can't sleep like many other mammals, because unlike them, they wouldn't breathe automatically when sleeping. Because of this, we believe that porpoises rest half of their brain at a time, allowing them to both breathe and swim while resting. Next, their senses. Although their eyes appear relatively small, they have incredible vision, although their ability to see color is not as advanced as many mammals. They have great hearing too. They just don't receive sounds through their ears. They receive it through their throat. We'll talk more about that just now. Toothed whales send out high-frequency clicks from an organ called the melon. This melon is what causes the bumps on their heads, which you can compress if you press it with your finger. These clicks are often used for communication in many cetaceans, including porpoises. They are also used for echolocation. And at the bottom there, you can see an example of how echolocation is being used to tell the direction of that fish. When animals use echolocation, they emit a sound. This sound then bounces back off objects. Using the direction that these sounds bounce back in, these animals can get a very accurate idea of their surroundings just from sound. There are no olfactory lobes in porpoises, indicating no sense of smell. While there is no evidence of taste buds, porpoises have preferences for different types of fish, indicating some degree of taste. Now let's talk about their threats. Many porpoise species are listed under the threatened categories on the IUCN Red List. Hunting is a big threat to the species. Often drive hunting is used, where boats drive them towards the shore, with the shore cutting off one escape direction and the boats cutting off the other. Fishing is also a problem, with gill nets catching them. One porpoise species especially, which just so happens to be the world's most endangered marine mammal, which we will talk about later. Porpoises also suffer from a variety of environmental threats. They are a keystone species, a species that has a disproportionately large effect on its natural environment relative to its abundance, and can therefore be an indicator of the overall health of a marine environment. Offshore construction, traffic from ships, and military exercises are increasing pressure of harbor porpoises populations in the North and Baltic Seas. Pollution like heavy metals and plastics are not biodegradable and are often eaten by porpoises, making them more vulnerable to diseases and having less offspring. The military and geologists use strong sonar. This interferes with the porpoise's biosonar, which are hindered by this extra noise. This noise also sometimes rushes these animals to surface quickly in a panic. For porpoises that dive to lower depths, this could cause decompression sickness. Civilian ships also produce sonar waves to measure the depths of the water. Just like the Navy boats, some of these waves attract porpoises, while others repel them. If the waves attract porpoises, they could be hit by the ships or the ship's propeller. Now let's talk about the species. And the first three species are sometimes grouped together as the finless porpoise. But for the purposes of this video, we are considering them three separate species. First is the Indo-Pacific finless porpoise. This porpoise's range extends from the Persian Gulf on the west side and the Taiwan Strait on the east, occurring in most of the Indian Ocean. Unlike the name suggests, they do have flippers and can get up to 2.27 meters, that's 7.5 feet, although most are smaller. They are known to be very active swimmers and are known to eat fish, crustaceans, and cephalopods, although they might also ingest some plant material. Next is the East Asian finless porpoise. The East Asian finless porpoise is found off mainland China, north to the Matsu Islands and south to the Penghu Islands. The range does overlap with the Indo-Pacific finless porpoise. They are smaller than that species, however. They like to stay around water up to 50 meters, that's 160 feet deep, in sandy seabed, mangrove swamps, or estuaries, where they are usually found close to the shore, occasionally found further out. Next are the Yangtze finless porpoises. The Yangtze finless porpoise is endemic meaning that it is only found to the Yangtze River in China. It is China's only freshwater cetacean, as the baiji, or baiji, a dolphin, is thought to be extinct. The Yangtze finless porpoise is listed as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List. It is estimated that only 1,000 members of the species are left. Next are harbor porpoises. The harbor porpoise has a very large range around most of the cooler coastal waters of the North Atlantic, North Pacific, and Black Sea. They usually stay close to coastal areas and river estuaries. This is where they get their name from. Harbor porpoises often swim up rivers and have been seen hundreds of kilometers from the sea. Next is the vaquita. This is the smallest living cetacean, only growing to a maximum of 150 centimeters, that's 4.9 feet, and they are also the world's most endangered marine mammal. This is the one that we were talking about earlier. They are endemic to the Gulf of California in Mexico and can live around 20 years. Surveys have suggested that there might be less than 10 vaquitas alive today. They have gone through a genetic bottleneck in the past. Now, what is a genetic bottleneck? This is a sharp reduction in the size of a population due to environmental events such as famines, earths, floods, fires, disease, and droughts. Such events can reduce the variation in the gene pool of a population. Thereafter, a smaller population with a smaller genetic diversity remains to pass on genes to future generations of offspring. Because vaquitas have gone through this in the past, it is believed that the remaining individuals are still able to be healthy despite their ridiculously low numbers now, like they're sort of adapted to this. Next is the spectacled porpoise. The spectacled porpoise is native to the Southern Ocean. Because of their remote range in the Southern Ocean, it isn't studied very well. A lot of information that we have about the species is from stranded individuals. They have a very distinctive coloration, with a black dorsal region and a white belly. You can see that quite clearly in that picture. Next is Burmeister's porpoise. This species is endemic to the coast of South America. It is named after the person who first described it, Hermann Burmeister. They can weigh 50 to 75 kilograms, that's 110 to 165 pounds, and the maximum weight recorded was from a female, 105 kilograms, that's 231 pounds. Usually they are alone or in pairs, but they can occasionally be found in larger groups, sometimes up to 70. And then the last species of porpoise, Dall's porpoise. Dall's porpoise is the largest porpoise species, and it is endemic to the North Pacific, preferring waters at around 18 degrees Celsius, that's 64 degrees Fahrenheit. They can get up to 2.3 meters, that's 7.5 feet, and can weigh between 130 to 220 kilograms, that's 370 to 490 pounds, with males being larger. They have been recorded diving up to 94 meters deep, but spend most of their time within 10 meters below the surface. And that brings us to the end of this video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed, I hope that you learned something, and Goodness guys, the pictures in this video might be the best of all time. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that too, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Hey guys, it's me again. I'm just popping in to let you know that if you want to support the research and education of these amazing creatures, there is a link in the description where you can donate to an incredible organization.